Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to try and do a quick review, as quick as I possibly can, of Matcha Meditation from MAISON MARGIELA REPLICA. The reason why I'm going to try and do this as quick as possible is because I have a lot to say about this fragrance. Because if you know me and you know tea and you know me and tea, I have a lot to say. But I want to review this scent for you guys, so if you'd like to know what I think, then keep watching. My name is Kristin. I run this channel called Beauty Meow. I am a fragrance enthusiast and a fragrance collector. I love to sit and talk on YouTube about scent. I'm not a fragrance authority. I just like to sit here and connect with other people who love fragrance. So if you like that type of content, reviews, chit chats, conversations, and the like, make sure to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the little bell so you can be notified when I have new videos. Also, I purchased this bottle. I purchased this from Selfridges, and this was not given to me to review. This was also on my must-buy list the second I heard about it, and finally, like January 1st of this year, I purchased this bottle. I've been wearing it, and I'm ready to review it for you guys. So I'm gonna quickly just read off the notes. I'm gonna give you guys a little TLDR about tea, specific teas, because I need to do that to get into this. And then I'm going to try and not have this video be 20 minutes long. Notes in this, you have Bergamot, Mandarin, and you have a green tea accord. At the heart, you have matcha accord and orange flower absolute. If I could read words, that would be fantastic. You also have jasmine. And at the base, you have a moss accord, a white chocolate accord, and a cedar essence. So I was really excited to see white chocolate in this. Now, real quick, matcha and green tea are two separate things. Although matcha is made from green tea is not matcha. Green tea is what you use when you make tea with tea leaves, and matcha is actually the tea leaf. So the flavor and just the smell is completely different. So when I see matcha in a fragrance, I expect matcha. I expect something deep and rich and very complex. A little bit more on the grassy side, slightly bitter, and maybe a little bit more acidic. Green tea I expect to be lighter, more refreshing, more energetic, things like that. At the end of the day, matcha is matcha and green tea is green tea. Matcha is made from green tea, but it's two different ways to make something. So, matcha, when I expect to smell matcha in a tea, I expect something deeper, richer, and I would like a mix between something slightly grassy and something very deep and green. And so when I see moss and oak moss mixed in as part of the composition, that is such a smart choice, because that is such a great component to add to a composition, especially if you're trying to evoke a deeper, richer, slightly more acidic tea without ruining what the complexity of what it would actually taste like, evoking it as a smell. It's the smart choice to do, and I love it, and I think that was a smart choice with this scent because it separates the green tea from the matcha. It really helps the matcha stand out on its own and the green tea to stand out on its own. So since I'm already talking a little too much, before I get too into breaking down this fragrance, I'm going to give you a little TLDR at this point. This is a great scent. It is not a super tea-oriented fragrance, and that is fine. It starts off bright with green tea, billowy, sunshiny, energizing, what I would expect, more focusing on the bergamot, a little bit more of the flavor scent profile of the mandarin in the background, and you have a beautiful sunshiny green tea. After it dries down on your skin for 15 to 20 minutes, you get a little bit more of the matcha, the oak moss comes out. You get the scent profile of the white chocolate without the saccharine sweetness, and it really pairs nicely with the cedar. The jasmine I find to be really beautiful. It kind of softens the green tea, and I think that aromatic, semi-cocoa nibby green tea fragrance. It has a lot of different nuances to it, which play on the skin really beautifully without being too overtly complex to where it feels like it's gimmicky, but at the same time, it just smells really pretty and different, and I really enjoy it. So if you're looking for a different type of tea scent that you want to wear, especially something that has something completely different, like chocolate, which is really awesome, it smells beautiful and light that you could wear, that just is uplifting and pretty, I think this is great. Now, I'm using all the same words that I spit out all the time, pretty, uplifting, And I just wanted to do a quick little TLDR, because if you just wanted to know like a quick little blurb about what I thought about this fragrance, that's it. But I really want to talk about this fragrance because that is why I'm here. This is why I have my channel. It's not just to shoot out 5-minute videos about fragrance. Hey, this is great. Now let's name 9 other fragrances that are great, and then let's slap a stupid thumbnail and let's get up here. I don't get many views on my channel. That's fine. This is a channel for me to connect and talk about my passion, which is fragrance and also tea. And so when tea and fragrance come together, I cannot tell you how excited I get, especially when it's done in a way that I find to buy first unique and also successfully. And this is unique, but not crazy out of the ballpark in a way that is challenging, intimidating, or something that a lot of people can't accessibly try. And I also find it to be beautiful. So when I talk about I want to see unique creativity, different things in perfumery, that doesn't mean they have to be inaccessible in regards to nobody's gonna wanna wear that because, oh my gosh, that just smells so out of the box that nobody wants to smell like that. But also it has to be something that I think would excite the masses to want to purchase, which would then excite other perfume houses to see, wow, this house did something unique and interesting and people are buying it, so let's step out and try something new. To see that there is like a fiscal, what's the word I'm looking for? Incentive, a fiscal incentive to step out of the box, especially when you're looking at designer houses. Because designer houses, they have the funds to really do crazy things. They just don't like to step out of their comfort zone. So if designer houses can start stepping out of their comfort zones and doing things that are a little bit different, a little bit quirky, a little bit special, I like to celebrate that. And I think that Replica is one of those houses that actually does that, and I get really excited. Now, specifically, this house is one that I enjoy all of their fragrances. I only own a few of them. By the Fireplace is one of my top favorite fragrances ever. I don't have the hugest urgency to add their fragrances to my collection, but I do enjoy wearing them. What I like most about this is specifically the distinction of how they handle the matcha and the oak moss. Now, the only other time I've really seen this done super successfully, and this is just my basic, I'm not having that, much experience with too many fragrances. That might seem crazy, but there's thousands upon thousands of fragrances out there. I haven't smelled all of them, is an Imperial Tea from by Kilian. And that one is one of my most top favorite fragrances ever because I love jasmine green tea, and I love it when it is slightly overbrewed. And the predominant use of oak moss in that fragrance evokes a slightly tannic, overbrewed jasmine green tea. And when I see oak moss used with tea fragrances, it takes it from this beautiful, sparkly, very wearable green tea fragrances like Eau de Verte, Bamboo Harmony from by Kilian, green tea from Elizabeth Arden, and some other fantastic green tea fragrances, and it takes it into something more distinctive and more special. And it doesn't have to be expensive, but it can be a little bit different, a little bit quirky, a little bit special, a little bit more creative. And I like seeing the use of oak moss in this fragrance, and I also like seeing the use of white chocolate. Now, if this was a white chocolate that was super sweet, I think that this would have been unsuccessful because it's not very sweet. It's not got a lot of sugar to it. It's got a lot of unique flavor. So the cedar in here I really like because instead of it being very woody, and cedar is a very distinctive, and I mean a very distinctive woody note, which in a lot of cases can kind of come off as pencil shavings. With this, it comes off a little bit dry and a little bit, I would say, earthy. And I like how it kind of pulls this kind of dry, earthy, woody, aromatic pairing with this white chocolate and this tea. But when I wear this fragrance, I love the fact that it's not sweet, but you get this nice blend of softness and roundness from the white chocolate, because obviously you have the mouth feel of white chocolate, but then you have like the white chocolates that are nothing but just sugar, and it just it kind of like sticks to the roof of your mouth and like coats your teeth, and it's nasty. But then you have like a really good piece, and it's nice and it's pleasant and it's not too sweet. That's what this is with the cedar. It just kind of really helps blend the beautiful tea and the moss together, and it really works really nice with these florals. The florals are very beautiful and they pair more with the opening notes than with the moss and the matcha. So the opening is brighter and crisper and a little bit more energizing because you've got that green tea, you know, that stereotypical, again, eau verte. And then you have, again, this nice mandarin in the background. It's more of the stereotypical citrusy flavor profile. And then you've got the bergamot for the bright citrusy aspects of it, kind of being sparkly in your nose. And then you have the beautiful citruses, which pair really nicely with the green tea, which kind of soften it into this nice matcha and oak moss, which kind of play into something really beautiful and very wearable, slightly earthy and slightly more rounded with the white chocolate and the cedar. It comes together really, really beautifully, and a lot more, as I explain it, it sounds a lot more complex, which is why I wanted to do the little TLDR in the beginning, because I feel like if I talked for, I'm looking at my little timer, we're at 25 minutes at this point. I'm obviously going to be trimming this down, but when I get excited about a fragrance, I want to talk to you guys about why I get excited for a fragrance. And why I get excited for this fragrance, first, is that it's wearable. You can spray this on your skin and it smells nice. It smells pretty. It's something that you don't have to think about. You don't have to think about matcha. You don't have to think about chocolate. You want to wear something fresh and bright and pretty. Spray this on your skin and go about your day. You're gonna smell nice. But if you want to start seeing something a little bit different, a little bit quirky in perfumery, I think this is a perfect representation of taking something a little bit different as pairing white chocolate and tea and not turning it into an overly frosting laden mess, and making it something more refreshing, more aromatic, more revitalizing, and having a little bit more complexity than it would have if it was just a heavenly, saccharine, toothache-inducing gourmand fragrance. And I love the fact that there is a nice balance to the scent, but there's still a bit of depth and complexity to it while it's still very wearable. This fragrance won't be for everybody, mostly because not everybody is a tea fragrance lover. And not a lot of people want to spend a lot of money on a fragrance, especially a tea fragrance. Even though MAISON Margiela Replika isn't an insanely priced designer fragrance, I do know that you can find great tea fragrances for cheap. So even though I think this is a fantastic fragrance and worth checking out, especially if you love scents, sample before you buy, because as always, it is, I think, about $135 for this bottle. So I don't want to sit here and tell you, try it, because you can still find fantastic tea fragrances for much, much cheaper. But if you want to add a unique tea beauty to your fragrance collection, I do think Matcha Meditation is worth checking out. In any case, that is my very long review of MAISON Margiela Matcha Meditation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, guys, if you've tried this fragrance, I'd love to know what you guys think, positive or negative. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!